Okay, let's dive right in. In any high-stakes environment, whether you're on a factory floor or in the C-suite, simple mistakes are a massive source of wasted time and money. So today, we're breaking down a really powerful framework for literally engineering those errors out of any process. It's a way of thinking that, I promise, once you get it, it will completely change how you look at how things get done.
Just think about this for a second. You pull up to the gas station, you grab the pump handle, and for a split second, you pause. It seems like such a small moment, but making the wrong choice there could lead to a really expensive and totally preventable headache.
And this is where the genius comes in. A simple, intentional design choice makes the mistake physically impossible. The nozzle for diesel fuel is literally a different shape, so it won't fit into a regular gas tank. It's not a warning sticker, it's not a suggestion, it's a hard stop. And that right there is the core idea of the framework we're going to unpack today.
So this whole concept of intentional error proofing, it actually has a name. It's a framework called Poka Yoke, and it's a core strategy for getting beyond just finding defects and moving toward preventing them from ever happening in the first place.
Poka Yoke, and it's pronounced Poka Yoke, is a Japanese term that basically translates to mistake proofing. The whole goal here is a complete shift in mindset. You stop being reactive, catching errors after the fact, and you become proactive by designing your processes so that the errors just can't happen.
Now, this idea got its start back in Japan's lean manufacturing boom in the 1960s, but the principles behind it are so solid that it's spread way beyond the factory. Today, you'll see it being used everywhere from software development to hospitals. Basically, any place where getting the process right is absolutely critical.
So, the crucial first step is always diagnosis. It's not just about knowing what Poka Yoke is, it's about figuring out where to use it. We need to zero in on those exact points in a process where a mistake keeps happening so we can get the biggest bang for our buck in terms of quality and efficiency.
Poka Yoke is just perfect for targeting these specific recurring types of errors. We're talking about things like setup errors, right, where a machine isn't adjusted quite right, or missing parts, a classic assembly line problem where forgetting one little screw can cause a huge failure later. You've also got improper parts, like using the wrong component, or operations and measurement errors, where a step is done wrong or something's measured incorrectly. This framework is designed to stop these little tactical mistakes before they blow up into big strategic problems.
Okay, so once we've pinpointed the problem area, we get to implementation. Let's walk through the playbook. This is the step-by-step guide for actually getting it done.
The whole thing follows a really clear 6-step process. First, you identify the exact operation where the mistake happens. Get super specific. Second, you analyze it. Use a tool like the 5 whys, where you just keep asking why over and over to get past the symptoms and find the true root cause. Then you get to the core design phase, steps 3 and 4. You decide the strategy. Are you going to prevent the error or just warn about it? Then you determine the method to actually make it happen. And finally, you deploy. You test the solution to make sure it works, and then you train everyone and measure the results to see the impact.
Let's drill down on step 3, because this is a really important fork in the road. You've basically got 2 choices. The first, the shutout or prevention strategy, is the gold standard. This is our gas nozzle example. It's the microwave that just won't turn on if the door is open. It makes the mistake impossible. Your other option is the attention or warning strategy. This doesn't stop the error, but it makes it immediately obvious. Like that annoying dinging sound if you leave your car lights on. It forces you to fix the mistake right away. Shutout is always better if you can do it, but sometimes a simple attention strategy is a great and easier solution.
Now for step 4, picking your method. This is the how. These are the tactics. First up is the contact method. This uses physical shape or size. Think of a USB cable that only fits in one way. It's often the simplest way to go. Second is the constant number method. This flags an error if a certain number of things hasn't been done. Imagine a machine that won't pack a box unless it senses all 4 items are inside. And finally, you have the sequencing method. This just makes sure steps are done in the right order, like a pilot's pre-flight checklist, or software that keeps the next button grayed out until you fill in all the required fields.
Okay, let's test this with a quick question. A system stops orders with missing information from being sent to production. Is this an example of A, standard work, B, Kanban, C, Poka Yoke, or D, visual factory? Take a second. The answer is C, Poka Yoke. Why? Because it's a system specifically designed to prevent a known error, incomplete information, from moving down the line and causing problems later.
Once this framework really clicks, you start to see the world differently. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses. You start noticing all the clever little design choices and everyday things that guide you to do the right thing. And, maybe more importantly, you start seeing all the opportunities where a simple fix, a simple Poka yoke, could get rid of so much frustration and failure.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Poka yoke really elevates design from being just about aesthetics to being truly strategic. It's about building a system where the easiest path, the path of least resistance, is also the path that leads to a perfect result every single time.
So I'll leave you with this challenge. Think about your own world. What is one process, either at your job or even just in your personal life, that's constantly a source of errors? And what's one simple, elegant change you could design to make that mistake impossible to make, starting tomorrow?